Hey, Closeteers, how you doing? So, for today's episode, I decided to do it in a more intimate setting because this is going to be an intimate conversation. So, if my children happen to come in here, you may leave. It won't be nasty, but it'll be intimate and it'll be something concerning your mother and father. So, just that's my warning to you, children. So I want to talk about how when things start failing in a relationship, if the only thing that the relationship has left are the children and the sex, how that could go terribly wrong by no fault of your own. So yeah, by this time things are real bad. We're basically in disagreement about almost everything. How to raise the kids, how to spend money. But the only thing that's still popping is the sex, right? I can't lie. Sex is still popping. So then he got injured at work twice for the same thing, just on two different feet. And it took him off his feet. And he's diabetic. And so one of the things that helped him with his diabetes, he's type 2. He was type 2. One of the things that helped him with his diabetes was his job. His job required him to walk 3 to 5 miles a day, 5 days a week. So that helped keep his sugar levels in check. So he was, healthy considering. So when he got sick, when he got injured, he couldn't walk. He was in a boot for 10 months twice. So he was in a boot for 10 months. He went back to work, and like 4 months later, the other side. So he was in a boot again. So his sugar levels spiked, and it just got crazy. And so they changed the way that they were giving him insulin, the amount. So with that came erectile dysfunction. Now, only thing that's really keeping this relationship together at this time is, and this still all, just so you know, this still all goes back to if we had received counseling, things had been fixed, we probably would have never ended up there. So, in his erectile dysfunction, it was crazy. It was off the chain. He could get an erection, but he couldn't maintain an erection. So it would be like, and I'm gonna tell you the effect that it had on me as a woman. I can't tell you the effect that it had on him, but I didn't understand erectile dysfunction. So when it started happening, at this time, I was extremely overweight, and he had said some things, some choice words to me. So I was not my normal high self-esteem person, right? I wasn't low self-esteem, but it wasn't as high as it normally is. So I was affected. And so when this started happening, he would have an erection leading up to having sex. And I promise you, as soon as we would begin to have sex, he would just go, it's gone, right? It's gone. And so my mind started messing with me, and I started thinking that I wasn't even looking at the fact that it was him and his health. I started thinking that it was me, and I was undesirable to him, right? And so that went on for a couple of months. The whole me feeling like it was me, that he was finding me undesirable. Not feeling like I was undesirable, but feeling like he was finding me undesirable. So it was like what the hell? Like, I'm not gonna say some of the things that I said to him because they were like real harsh, but it started being questions like, you don't want to have sex with me, you have a problem with me, because it seems like it works up until you're inside of me, right? And so I struggled with that. I struggled with that for months because I was blaming myself. And so it was and then some of the things that he did too. So they were making choices, trying to find out which medication would work and at what dosage. So it was like a lot of changes in the medication, trying to get the medication to work. A lot of changes in the medication. So we went from what was an extremely healthy sex life to a non-existent sex life as far as penetration. And I don't know about anybody else, but for me, oral sex is cool, but that's a precursor to what's going down, right? That's not the end all be all for me. Some people may be fine with that, but not for me. That gets me in the mood. It gets me ready, right? That's not, you can't think of the cherry on top for me with that. So that got old, right? It got old. And as they were changing medication and as they were and you got to understand coming into this, if you guys haven't watched the interview I did with Speak Your Truth with Roxanne, watch the interview that I did with Speak Your Truth with Roxanne. And also I am going to talk about some of those things because I didn't talk about everything in that interview. So I'm going to still talk. I will be talking about those things here on my channel. But I had a very hyper sex drive. I was hypersexual, and it was due to being molested and raped. And so our sex life was very healthy, and it was very explorative. No threesomes or nothing like that, but explorative. So to go from that, from having sex, we were having sex no less than 5 times a week, as long as my body would permit it. And women, you should understand what I'm saying when I say my body would permit it. And some men may understand too. So it went from that to, honestly, as far as penetration sex, no penetration sex for months. And no big deal, because, but again, you got to think about it. The only thing holding this relationship together is our children and our sex life, right? If we can't find a meeting of the minds for nothing else when it comes to sex, we just gonna find that meeting of the mind. So now that's failing. So it was they gave. So after it became evident that the pills wouldn't work, all the different pills for erectile dysfunction, after it became evident that those wouldn't work, and then they also had to be careful what medications he was taking because he was also taking insulin. He had diabetes, so that it had to work, right? Everything had to line up and work together. So they came up with this shot, and the shot was a shot directly in the penis. And he was comfortable like 1 or 2 times doing it, but after that he was no longer comfortable. He didn't want to do it. He was honest, and that's his choice. That's his thing. So that's his choice, right? He was not comfortable shooting himself with a needle down there. So that stopped. So where we had it had been maybe a 9-month break with the shot. For about a week or 2, it was like, oh, okay, it's back on. The game is back on. So And this is why it's so unhealthy for sex to be a part of a relationship that keep you together. It to be the thing that's keeping you together. It can be a part of what's keeping you together, but it cannot be the thing that's keeping you together. Because if something goes wrong, then what? And so this is what we were facing. So let me just say this: that whole situation of erectile dysfunction, and it's even worse now because now he is in renal failure. He's a kidney patient, so that whole situation from then until the end of our marriage, and I still haven't had sex, just to keep it 100, I still haven't. But from then until the end of our marriage, and I'm talking about file for divorce end, not just me moving out or me sleeping in a different room aside from him in the same house. I'm talking about till a couple of days ago, like that, okay? We have not had penetration sex. And to put that in perspective for you, I am having this conversation with you in 2021, right? This happened it started in 2008. So by 2009, 2010, nothing. So from 2010 until now. And yeah, so that's how it was so much easier to just be like, and go on and let go, because that was, and then our kids were older, grown, and we only had one kid that wasn't grown when I made the decision, like, you know what, this is not, it's not working, right? It's not working. So I stayed very much so beyond the expiration date. Do not stay in a relationship. Make it a sex ship. Make it something like that where sex is the only thing holding it together. Because if the sex fails, or when the sex fails, the relationship is going to fail. So it's unhealthy. It is unhealthy. Our whole relationship was just chipped away at every level. It was just chipped away. Everything that would save it got chipped away, right? And I told you guys before, there were times when he was holding on to the relationship and I had let go, which was very rare. I was the one 90% of the time, and if he's honest, he'll say the same thing. I was the one 90% of the time holding on to this relationship. His little 10% was, yes, and I minimize it because it's minimized, like it's 10%. Was for probably a 6-month period, right? A 6-month period in a 30-year relationship. Keep that in mind. So don't hold on to somebody that's not holding on to you, and don't let sex be while you're holding on to a relationship. A sex ship is something else. If that's what you're doing, do your thing. But a real relationship, you cannot let sex be it, because anything can change that. And then it failed. It failed. And I was very hurt by this situation. Originally, I was blaming myself, right? But then even once, I wasn't blaming myself. And though I say that's his private part, and it is his decision to do what he wants to do with his private part. But here's what I learned with him. And this is a hurting thing. I was all in. I was 100% all in all the time. And he wasn't. Period. I learned that he wouldn't have did a prison sentence with me. Period. I'm going to keep it 100. He wouldn't have did a prison sentence with me. And what I'm saying, there is no regret, because I'm going to keep being me. I'm not going to let a person's reaction or action change me being me. So I don't have any regrets in being me. I don't have any regrets in standing by my man. I don't have any regrets. Those are not regrets. This is me giving you the cautionary tale so that if you come to this fork in the road, before you waste time or before you may have regrets, take this story, right? Look at this story and make your decision based on that. And remember, I always tell you, my disclaimer, I am not a licensed professional, but I am somebody who was telling you by experience. And from everything I ever learned, experience is a good teacher. So keep that in mind. So, yeah, a lot of the things that I accepted in a relationship, he wouldn't have accepted. Um, I can recall an incident that made it clear to me when it became two incidents when it became clear to me. One was we had got to a point where it had got to a point to where so when he was suffering from erectile dysfunction, he was okay with like when he would get his I don't know why I can't find my words right now. When he would get an erection and he couldn't hold the erection. So he was okay with ripping up my lips because the friction was enough for him to get off. So, but I would end up with the little micro cuts and in pain and having to put Vaseline and towels and all kind of stuff so that I wouldn't be in pain. So it got to a point where I was like, we're not going to even do that. I can't do this because it's painful, right? And he was hot. He was pissed with me. Like I was having erectile dysfunction or something. He got mad at me because I started saying no. Like, no, I don't want to do this. No. In part, in part was because he understood that that was just foreplay for me as far as oral sex. So he wanted it to end with penetration sex. So in his mind, it was this is to satisfy you, right? But when I tell him no, he got really pissed, and he did not cheat because he couldn't cheat, but he wanted to. And this is something we talked about later. He wanted to. So that became very clear to me, like, this dude would not be down with me like I was down with him, right? Like, really? So I won't let you tear up my cuckoo to get you satisfied. And so you ready to look for the next best thing? Dude, really? So this is why I'm telling you the stuff that I'm telling you is because I don't know any other way to love. I am a buckets, gallons, all in love person. I don't love partially. And he was not the same. So I paid a cost for that emotionally. I paid a cost for that. I think, and this is from my point of view from now, I think that I lost pieces of my heart that I may never get back. Not that I don't want to, because again, I don't want to not love 100%. I want to love 100%. But I feel like there's some damage there that will have me apprehensive to being able to be all in. I hope not, but that's just how I feel right now. I could be wrong, right? So yeah. So he let me know, like flat out, straight up, that he was short spot, honey. He went and got it somewhere else, honey. If he could have, and I know in my heart of hearts the only reason why he didn't is because he couldn't, right? If he was able to maintain an erection, he would have been sleeping with somebody else when I refused. But then I guess you can't look at it like that, huh? Because if he would have been able to maintain an erection, we wouldn't have been having a problem. So, but still, his confession let me know where his mind was. Like he was ready. He was ready. So, yeah. So be careful. We give you 100% too. Make sure that they gonna give you 100%. Okay, it's getting windy out here. I hope this thing don't blow away. Um, and but one of the things that, oddly enough, one of the things that this whole 10-year situation of not having penetration sex has, one of the things that it has helped me with is it has lowered my sex drive. Because I'm telling you, I was hypersexual. I was borderline, or maybe could have even been considered nympho. So it helped me with that. It helped me with that, and then it helped me not correlate a relationship with sex only. It helped me with that. Not have sex be the most important thing. It helped me with that, and then it helped me with. I appreciate myself. I value myself more and on other levels than my sexual abilities. Oh, and they there. Trust me, they there. But I value myself more than my sexual abilities. My sexual ability is not caught up in my value as a woman, my value as a wife, and my value as a single person looking one day to day. It's not caught up in that. So that it helps me with that, which is valuable. So see, for all the bad that happened, some good did come out of it. Some good came out of it. It was more of a learning situation, or a learning curve for me than it was, because it didn't knock me out, right? It didn't devastate me. It didn't destroy me, right? And here I am. I'm approaching 50. I'm gonna tell y'all one day exactly how old I am. And if you know me, you know. I'm approaching 50, and I feel like I'm in the best years of my life right now. I'm approaching 50 with grown children, with adult children, and grandchildren. I have grandchildren who are in double digits. So I still feel young and vibrant enough to have fun with them, to do things with them, right? So I believe my better days are now. I believe my better days are now. For all that I went through, for all that I overcame, I believe my better days are now. My kids are talking to me. So when I say my kids, just so you know, I had 4 kids. I personally birthed 4 kids, right? But my children's mates, I do not call them my in-laws. Those are my daughters and my son, period. And then I have godchildren. And it's the same thing for my godchildren. They're made, those are my daughters. And I don't have any goddaughters, just godsons. So those are my daughters, my son and my daughters. That's how I am. And I am and it's so crazy. Some of my my children's mates, siblings even call me mom, right? And they want to go out with me and have fun with me, stuff, because I'm fun like that. I'm fun like that. So now they're planning trips, like girl trips. Mom, you gonna go on the girl trip with us? And then my sons are planning like cruises and stuff like that, because they want me to get out and they want me to live my life. And because my youngest is 18, this is his 12th grade year in college. So my kids are like, Mom, start living. You did your part. You did your part. I never told my children that they had to leave home at 18 years old. I never told that to my children, and I never would have told that to my children. If it was up to me, you can stay at home until you buy your house. That's how I feel. Till you buy your house. So I never did that to my kids, but since my 18-year-old is going to college and stuff like that, I do have that freedom of being able to say, okay, I'm done, because he's going away to college. He's not staying home. So I do have that freedom to be able to say, oh, I can downsize and I can go on and I can do my thing and live my life, right? So, and that's what my kids are telling me to do because they know that I have always wanted to travel. Now, of course, COVID has affected that, but I've always wanted to travel, so I will begin to travel domestically right now, and then later on, I'll do international travel. I will take you guys with me. I sure will. I sure will. We're gonna have some fun together. And don't judge me because you're gonna see some bottles and some glasses, and you're gonna see some things, and that's how I live my life. I'm open like that. I'm open like that. And if you want to judge me harshly because I drink some wine or I may drink a dirty martini, that's my favorite drink. I may drink a dirty martini here and there. I'm even considering doing hookah. Now I don't smoke, but I'm considering doing hookah because I just want to live my life. I want to have fun, right? So we're gonna do all those things. We're gonna do all those things. Enjoy the ride. You see that little corner right there? That's my favorite corner. I come out and I do the little the intimate lighting in the nighttime, and I light my little fire pit, and my son showed me these little crystal things that you can put in there and have the pretty flames for your fire. And I have me a glass of wine, and I'll sit back there and enjoy myself. Enjoy myself. If I had a hammock back here, I'd go to sleep. I was looking around to see where I could put a hammock at. I might come out here and go to say enjoy the breeze and then go to sleep. See, that's me. This is the life that I'm living. This is the person that I am becoming to be now, more in tune to me and to taking care of me. And so even back bringing it back around to the whole the sex situation. Thank God right now, I feel like I don't want to have sex until I get married. That's how I feel. I mean, I've gone 10 years. I think I can make it. I think I can make it. So for all you men out there that want to be in the DMs and want to send little messages and stuff like that, it's on lock, baby. It's on lock. She ain't letting it out. Kitty Kitty is on lock. She ain't letting it out until you put a ring on it. Period. Done. So keep it pushing. Keep it pushing. If your intentions are anything but that, keep it pushing, my brother. My white mocha, my whatever you are, keep it pushing because I don't discriminate. And don't get mad. I don't discriminate. Never dated anybody else before, but I don't discriminate. Okay? Love y'all. Bye.